Hello, everyone. Thank you for joining us for our presentation. Regardless, wherever you are joining us from, you are welcome. The topic is generative artificial intelligence adoption, and our question is simple, and that is also our research question. How ready is Google BARD for business application? If this is the first time you're hearing Google BARD, that is fine. We're going to talk to you about it, and you will be familiar with it before the end of the presentation. Now, our outlines is as follows. After the introduction, we'll bring the background, we'll talk about our methodology, then our analysis and results, and we'll bring forth our conclusions and recommendations just before the references. So let's get started. Generative AI tools like Google Bard hold immense potential for business applications, particularly in text simplification. Google Bard, based on Lambda, excels in text generation, translation, and information retrieval, just to highlight a few of its capabilities. Now, the study wanted to evaluate Bard's efficacy in simplifying textual content using a dataset of over 42,000 Disneyland reviews. Now, BARD successfully simplified 75% of 7.79% of the reviews, demonstrating its proficiency in text simplification. Just in case this sounds confusing to you, don't stop watching. You get to understand it later. But it means that BARD only worked on 7.79% of the reviews and not everything. And in the 7.79%, 75% were correct based on our analysis. However, there were errors, inconsistencies were also observed in the 25% of even the 7.79% that BAG actually worked on, and this actually highlight the need for further work to be done. Now, the study underscores the viability of generative AI tools for business applications while acknowledging the importance of continuous improvement. Now, let's talk about why this is important, and that's we tag this as background, but this could be our motivation as well. So, since from November 30th, 2022, when ChatGPT was launched, I mean, it actually took the world by storm. It has been such a roller coaster with AI frenzy. Everybody talking about it, this and that. But most of this discourse focus only on ChatGPT. At least many people today that mentioned artificial intelligence knows a thing about ChatGPT, but a lot of other tools remained maybe quiet to most of the people in the space. So this research will want to expose some of these tools, and our focus here is actually on BARD because BARD was also released this year, and it has been making progress a lot. So we deem it necessary to explore this. Uh, AI tool and actually see how effective it is in business application basically. As you can see from the data here, this is from similarweb.com, and it captures the data of users visiting the website from different part of the world. Businesses are exploring the use of Gen AI for text simplification, and this is evidenced by the common use of Simplify, whether by individuals or for businesses, for their financial advice. And ChatGPT's ability to also generate and condense emails is evident. Sam Altman, the CEO of OpenAI, tweeted some times ago that people are actually asking ChatGPT to condense bullet points they've given it to a polite email. And then, once these emails are sent, the recipient will again ask ChatGPT to condense the email to bullet points so that they can just beat and be going. So, this hints to the fact that businesses and individuals may intend to use ChatGPT or generative AI tools for a purpose like this, and to some extent for automation processes. The outcome of that may be feeded into another application or into another process, maybe for decision making or for so on and so forth like that. And if there's not human being in the loop, we will need to identify how effective this is. So this is actually one reason we are doing this research. Now, despite the potential benefit of Gen AI Gen AI tools, like we've seen here. Concerns exist regarding its limitations, which include ethical issues, bias, data privacy, hallucinations, and so on and so forth. We want to listen to what the researchers are saying because they've highlighted the need for a thorough investigation to assess the readiness of Gen AI tools for business applications, at least for business applied. Now, this study aims to evaluate the capabilities of Gen AI tools, particularly Google BARD, in text simplification in order to determine its suitability for business data analytics. Because research has shown that AI perform a greater part of data analytics. So we've used Google BARD API in this case, like the application programming interface from Google BARD, to simplify Disneyland reviews. Like I said before, these reviews were posted on TripAdvisor by different users from different countries, as you can now see here. And that's our sample data set. For instance, there's a column for rating. A reviewer has rated it 5, and then in May 2012, and that reviewer is from the Philippines, and the review text says, unforgettable experience, bring back childhood memories. Now, the Disneyland branch was Hong Kong. We want to see how Google BARD will simplify this review and compare the meaning to the original meaning, and that is going to be done using semantic similarity, and we're picking a matrix from natural language processing. Now, to understand the data set even more, we try to look at the top 10 countries where these reviewers have come from, and it's as you can see on the screen here. United States is obviously on top, and the last among the top 10 is Hong Kong. And we also want to understand the number of branches that were covered in the data set, and there are three: California, Paris, and Hong Kong. And also, that is the order of the quantity of the reviews that they've gathered. So before standardizing our own prompt, we went through some rigorous process in prompt engineering to understand what prompt is suitable for this research. Remember that when the API is not free, you are normally charged based on tokens, and tokens is directly proportional to the amount of words you input. The words are converted to tokens, and you are charged based on the tokens. So the more your text, the higher the tokens, and the higher you will pay. And the response too is the same thing. That is the model that OpenAI is currently using for ChatGPT and other API that they've released. And we believe that a similar thing will apply for BARD. But at the time of this research, this API was free. We only issued Simplify as the prompt that minimize input or the prompt tokens. We just a simplify colon and then the review text. And the review text here is like the line management gets better all the time. We visited in June and never waited more than 30 minutes for anything. And this is what we got from BARD. Sure, here is a simplified version of the sentence. Line management at Disneyland is improving. We waited no more than 30 minutes for any ride in June. That is one. And then go but try to give you sort of reason why it thinks this is simpler to read. And after that, it says here is another possible simplification. Disneyland's line management is getting better. We only waited 30 minutes for rides in June. And then another reason again, and you can now rate BARD based on this outcome, whether that is good or bad, or if you have further feedback you can give, or you can share the result. You can also Google it to get more information. You just need to go to google.bard. You need to go to the Google official website, BARD official website, to test this kind of prompt. Now, we wanted to analyze type of responses because when we started running our experiment, we did not get the same response all the time. So one is like this: is consistently in this format. Sure, here is a few ways to simplify sentences, as we have seen. The other one is the previous one, and then these are the options it provided. Then there was also this kind of response that says response error, and then it gives you some sort of messages like this. I'm not really going through it. But let me say that what Google BARD was doing is that it can return any of these responses intermittently without us making any changes. So these are the kind of responses we got. Later we'll talk about more responses as well. But when we collected all the responses together, BARD completed about 7.79% of the reviews loaded, and that is 3,324 of the 42,654 reviews. The error rate increased significantly after this number, so we had to stop it, and that was after some number of days. Now we want to analyze the result in bit more detail. So this is a visualization of the responses we got. The 75% is here, and 25% of the error response is here. And there were other type of reviews that we're going to read, we're going to explain in the next slide here. Now, like I said, for the correct responses, no matter how we manipulated the prompt, but did not change the response. It always started with sure. Here is a simplified version, or sure. Here are some ways, stuff like that, and that constituted about 75%, which is 2,493, and then the response error was about 25% of the completed reviews, completed simplification, that is 827. Interestingly, there were also self-reference responses from BARD, and as you can see here in C, row C, it says, has a language model. I am not able to assist you with that. So we got two of that kind of responses. Also, another self-response model says, I am unable to help as I am only a language model and don't have the ability to process and understand that. Same prompt, similar reviews but different kind of outcome. And a third self-reference response as well. I am not programmed to assist with that. There was also one of a response like that in the completed simplification. So we went further to now say, okay, these are the type of responses. Let's just focus now on the reviews in general and then compare their meaning. So regardless whether it is the correct responses, the error responses, or the self-reference uh, responses, we wanted to see how similar are these to the original meaning, because if you are automating the process, then there will not be human being in the loop to check if this was erroneous or something, except you have to make another feedback loop to do that. So this was the kind of responses we got from semantic similarity using cosine similarity from natural language processing metric. Of all the responses, the correct responses were rated at around 70% accurate, you see, as we can see here. And the erroneous responses mostly falls at minus 10% response. That's what BARD gave. That is what the similarity was. That is the similarity score basically, and this is how it was distributed. So with this, we also try to compare the original text to the simplified text using this word cloud model. And as you can see, we wanted to see whether things have changed significantly or not. Disneyland is still bold here. Disneyland is still bold here. And we've seen park here. And there's also the right has been simplified to other words, I believe, and so on and so forth. So you will take some time to maybe look deeper into this. So we just want to conclude this research by saying that, yeah, we investigated the effectiveness of Gen AI tool focusing on BARD. For text simplification, we used over 42,600 reviews, but only got about 3,000 completed. And then the result, as you can see, the completed result is really promising. So that means the tool is offering something very good. But there were also errors, as you can see, up to 25%. And this highlight the need for further development, like whether Google want to address this, or the research communities, developers, etc., or businesses want to consider how they want to mitigate this problem. And then businesses should conduct more rigorous testing before deploying Gen AI tools for critical tasks. So funding should be allocated to research that will perform this kind of research, to be able to come up with concrete result before businesses can adapt that. And future research should now include user perspective analysis and real world case studies from businesses already using Gen AI tools like Google BARD, at least to help inform the research community and other businesses, and how we can take advantage of Gen AI tools. So thank you for listening. We're open to collaboration. Have you got any questions, comments, or feedback? Please email us, and then we'll be happy to take this further with you. Thank you, and God bless you.